Welcome back. Part 1 is already out, so go listen to last week's. But this is part 2 of the Cuties Choice Awards, end of 2024 recap.
And now, re-announcing, it's Chelsea and Donnie, the cute ones.
We wanted to start this episode on a solemn note and do an in memoriam segment. Shannon Doherty.
Charlotte the Stingray.
Okay. Quincy Jones.
Donnie's marriage. I think we did it differently.
Okay. Terry Garr.
Vanderpump Rules.
Liam Payne.
TikTok.
Maggie Smith.
My faith in Gen Z boys.
James Earl Jones.
Jojo Siwa's neck control.
Gina Rowlands of The Notebook.
Karen Huger's license.
O.J. Simpson.
Benifer. Again.
Shelley Duvall.
SpongeBob's family.
R.I.P.
So thank you. I hope everybody took a moment of silence for those people and those things that we lost in this year. So now, another thing we lost. Let's talk about the best canceled TV show.
Okay, I'll go first. So, in no particular order, I have about 7 of them. I have Not Dead Yet on ABC, Girls 5 Eva. They tried to change networks and it still wasn't picked up. I'm pissed about it. Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. I'll say it, it wasn't as iconic as the original, but it was better. Velma. It hasn't been announced yet, but also it hasn't been unannounced either.
Didn't you hate that show?
No, I'm the only one who liked it.
You were the only one who liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Schmigadoon on Apple Plus, and then Evil. But I don't think it's going to work. But Keke Palmer recently said that she has been watching Evil, like binging it. So then the cast is like, please tell the network that you would come back for a new season, and then they will bring us back because you're Keke Palmer. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for Keke to work her magic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did give a little teaser last week when we talked about best TV shows, and I told you I only finished 2 this year. So, true to form, I said Dirty Sexy Money. Was it canceled 10 years ago? Yes, but I'm still mad about it. And I'm once again asking, please bring it back. We don't know the end of the mystery. I need it.
Wait, isn't one of them problematic?
Probably. Who?
Okay, probably all of them. No, I think, now I'm confused. I need to look at the cast again, but I think the daughter, the short-haired one.
Oh, yeah, did she join a cult or she became really far right?
Or both.
Yeah.
And I think Donald Sutherland's dead. So we're down 2, but we can make it work.
We can make it happen, please. The longer we wait, though, the harder it becomes because more people are turning out to be problematic and more people are dying.
That's the way the world works. Our next category is most memorable performance. Now, this could be a scene in a TV show or movie, a press tour moment, a social media meltdown, just a most memorable performance. And mine is, and this is kind of how you would do the assignment, because my performance isn't even from this year necessarily. It's from whenever we look. My most memorable performance is Blake Lively's It Ends With Us tour. Because yes, she did do some things on this tour. Yes, there was behind the scenes performances that were the catalyst of all of this. But you know it. You love it. It's the, look at your little bump. It's the, I work with a few monkeys myself. We can't write better things.
I also went with a press tour because for me, my most memorable performance was the Wicked press tour. The crying, the over-talking, the finger-holding, the queer media of it all. I know this is kind of a basic answer, but this press tour made me care. Like, it penetrated my indifference bubble. You know, I have a superpower. When I don't care about something, I really have my blinders on. I just learned for the first time that Four Christmases was a movie. I didn't know that was a movie before we watched it. And I think, yes, part of it was you just relentlessly waterboarding me with Wicked press tour headlines week after week. Maybe you broke me down. Maybe you Clockwork Oranged me. But by the end of it, like, I really did care. And I was stopping on my own time to watch those two wackadoodles talk over each other and sob.
I think it was just true chaos. I think that press tour was the equivalent of our podcast in some alternate universe because you truly never know what you were going to get. Some weeks was this, some weeks was them crying over God knows what. They didn't even know what. And some weeks was Cynthia Erivo saying, don't you fucking think about making fan art. And some weeks was those two women ruining marriages. So you really never knew what you were going to get.
You never knew. And I think the magic of the press tour is it even got me off of my high horse and being like, Ariana ruined a marriage, homewrecker, whatever, because there's something so delightful about this press tour. It just men in blacked the entire country.
Most of the country. I still get angry DMs, especially now that SpongeBob's wife came out and said, like, this ruined my life. I lost clients. She's a therapist, I think. I lost clients. So there are people like, how could you like Ariana? I'm like, how could you not? A therapist can change your last name and suddenly it's not a problem anymore.
Well, I don't know if we need to be blaming
Dr.
SpongeBob's
Montgomery.
wife, but
I am in my DMs. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
we're holding space for SpongeBob's wife.
Now, more Patreon submitted categories are hottest redhead and hottest woman with a bob.
I'll let you take this category, Donnie, because this is really your cup of tea.
Okay. Jessica Chastain, Ela Fisher, Julianne Moore, and Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan is the best she's ever looked. And
Incredible.
to tie it into another hot redhead, Lindsay Lohan is in talks to be in the Anne Margaret movie. Another hot redhead.
Love that. Yeah, Lindsay Lohan has never looked better. Obviously, she had some work done, but I also think just sobriety and happiness and clear eyes and motherhood. Oh my God, what a comeback.
Yeah, she's not stealing kids on the street anymore. God bless her.
And not speaking in that accent anymore. God bless her. Talk about accent work.
Now that's accent work.
I want to challenge you on the spot to think of one man you had to crown hottest redhead.
Oh. I don't know their names. In the time jump on Desperate Housewives, the boys that play the twins, Lynette's twins, they've grown up to be hot little pieces.
Okay, great.
So I'll give it to them.
What a Gabby-like answer.
My hottest woman with a bob goes to two Euphoria ladies on the red carpet, Sydney Sweeney and Zendaya at the 2024 Oscars. They both look great.
If you're watching on YouTube, I will be putting up pictures, so here you go.
Perfect. And you may remember this was the year of the kitty cut, which I got behind. I said if you need to do short hair, kitty cut's the only way to go.
Who said you didn't grow this year? Me. Well, the next one was Cuties submitted, and that was hottest bald man, and I will jump in here because this is my forte. And I would first like to just say hottest bald people because I would like to give an honorable mention to me. During the month of October, I found a way to wear that bald cap nearly every week. And I think I rocked it to the point where you did stop us mid-recording one time to say, you look great bald. So just shout out to me. The
really
Katie Maloney hair didn't work, but I made up for it in October with that Beetlejuice wig. I do want to publicly shame Freebird the Shaver. Now, if you want to sponsor us, sure. But as I was looking up hot bald men, I saw their list of hottest bald men. And as soon as I saw Jeff Bezos in the number 5 spot, they lost all credibility.
I also saw that list when I was looking for options. And I did not go with anything they said.
No. So at the end of the day, I decided to not do the rules, even though I inserted myself into this category. And I went with Cynthia Erivo.
Okay. Mine is this man here. Have you seen him?
Oh, I've seen him. Dirty Sexy Money.
Yes! Mike Coulter, he's the star of Evil, which, Chelsea, I do think you would like, but now that you know him, I think you would really like it. But yes, I think he's the hottest man alive. I slide into him deep.
Ask, believe, receive. Manifesting 2025.
I slid into his DMs at least once a week and say, like, I never make it dirty. I try to keep it professional because this is a man. I do know he's married to a white woman. And it is a woman, but if there is a man of color that's married to a white person, I say I do have a chance one day. So I do keep it very nice that one day when he and I work together, maybe he'll be on the podcast, maybe we'll co-host New Year's Eve or something, then that's my chance to Ariana him.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Our next category is the Face Blindness Award, and this is a case of mistaken identity. Who was the biggest case of mistaken identity for you this year, Chelsea?
It was Lynette from Desperate Housewives, which we are covering over on the Patreon, because I legitimately thought that it was the woman who played Nurse Jackie. So if you're listening on Patreon to our recaps, I do still call Annette Nurse Jackie to this day because they look identical to me.
Okay, fair. Mine is a case that goes 20 years deep. Because you may recall in our Charlie's Angels episode, I thought Creepy Thin Man was played by Justin Theroux, Jennifer Aniston's ex, and sure not.
Sure not. Not even close when I can tell them apart, but God bless you for it. So next up we have our favorite episode, which could include our favorite episode or also our favorite guest. So I said Noor if she had been our guest for the Royal Tenenbaums. And that's a callback to our Royal Tenenbaums episode where I had been terrorizing you that whole week trying to change our recording schedule for Noor to join us. But I think that our companion piece of Sucker Punch Royal Tenenbaums, those were two of our best for the year because it really just captured how much we can fight when we want to. And then I loved having Peter Toto on for TGIF.
Yes.
Which I feel like there is a cutie in the SNL writers' room because did you see they randomly did a Weekend Update segment about how in the UK they ruled that calling someone bald is sexual harassment?
No.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we didn't write that article, so certainly we're just taking headlines from other people. But I feel like that's pretty oddly specific. And there's been a couple times I've said, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So SNL, I've got my eye on you.
Well, I think SNL just takes things from the internet as opposed to writing things.
Was it an us problem or is it an SNL problem?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
You know, like their Housewives sketch with no punchline in it. Things like that. My favorite episode this year was Wizard of Oz with Noor. We got a lot of people that said they were excited for Wicked because of that episode. And then I Know Who Killed Me with Sloane was chaotic. That's when we knew we found our sisters and future enemies.
Also, this is a good time for us to say, fuck Mommy Dearest, the podcast.
The feud is alive.
I told you, feuds were all a buzz in 2024, and I'm taking that one into 2025.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Our next category is most surprising character development, where we say if our lives were a TV show, what the biggest plot twist would be. Like Chelsea liking Wicked or me being single, asking for divorce. And I do think a divorce is something people didn't see coming, but bigger than that. Liking Pretty Wild enough to make the bling ring a hyper-focus for a bit this year, and to even watch documentaries by choice about it.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest twist of the year.
That was a really big twist because I think this was the first time in our friendship's history that one of the things that I loved became one of the things that you loved.
Yeah.
Like, I do dabble, and you do get it right from time to time, but this was the first time that I got to share something I loved, and you didn't say, yeah.
No, I didn't spit on Home for the Holidays. I just didn't rub it on my cleavage.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you got to rub Pretty Wild onto your cleavage. Now, for me, again, I painted a lot of walls this year. I don't know if this was the most exciting season of my life, if it was a movie. But I think part of that has to do, again, with boundaries. Boundaries makes everything boring. And the fact that boundaries work, that's a plot twist.
Yeah.
I think the fact that, and I'm even scared to say it out loud, let's knock on wood, the fact I made it through this whole year with my HVAC system intact, fingers crossed now I do have holes in my ceiling and no electricity in half of my bedroom, but that's a problem for a future me. I learned how to build a door this year. I think my life might be getting canceled if it's a TV show, Donnie.
Well, you know what? That's okay.
I'll be Kramer coming in the door and everybody going, woo, when I show up in yours because I got to tell you, my life has been boring, but I'm kind of happy with it because the last couple years before 2024, not so boring, and I was ready for a break.
No, as someone whose ratings were through the roof this year, I have to say it's not all it's cracked up to be. And not to no but you. I'd love to yes and you if I can, but it was this very year, was it not, that I visited you and Dr. Bald had to go buy fans for every room because your HVAC was indeed broken?
Oh, shit. Yeah. I guess that is my North Star, that even when my life is boring and boundaried, I still will be much too hot or much too cold in my house.
Great.
So this last category, before we get to the big kahuna, the cutie of the year, I was requested by the Patreon cuties to crown the couple most likely to break up based on Instagram captions. Now, I've obviously said Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. They are on my people to watch. They do all those quirky, silly, happy birthday posts that's half of my husband's face and another hot celebrity, all those things that you're doing too much. Doth protest too much. I've got my eye on you. Next up, we got JT and Jessica Biel. They've been doing a lot of lovey-dovey shit. And again, we've seen that man's ween. And maybe it's the motion in the ocean, but I don't know if they're going to last. Ashton and Mila, got my eye on them. And I didn't know where to put this, but what's Ellen up to?
Getting letters written to her by the lead of It Ends With Us.
Well, there we go. But she's also fled the country, and I've got my eye on her. So in conclusion, those are the big ones: Ashton and Mila, JT and Jessica Biel, Ryan Reynolds and Blake. But I also, my spidey senses are going off about Ellen DeGeneres, and I think we're going to get a resurgence of shit about her. So just my predictions for 2025.
Eva Longoria also did the same thing. She moved to a different country post-election. But post-election, this is not me saying anything. And if it was, it would be allegedly anyway. But all these people that left post-election was also post-Diddy, so.
That's what I'm saying. LeBron James randomly saying got to take time off from basketball. Now at this point, anybody that has money that has been associated with things, fleeing the country or quitting stuff, I'm like, I got my eye on you. Allegedly.
Jesus. Right.
I've got sunglasses on, so you don't know where my eyes are looking. All right, so it is time now. We are going to crown the Cutie of the Year. The Patreon cuties nominated and they voted. So some of the nominees included Moo Dang, that slippery little bitch, the pronunciation of Will Ferrell's name, the space we held for defying gravity. But without further ado, Donnie, would you do the honors of crowning this year, 2024's Cutie of the Year?
I would love to. Nadia submitted this, and our Cutie of the Year is Mama Solis!
The cuties are idiots, and I love it. We have found a community that gets us, because the cutie of the year for 2024 is the side character in a show that came out, Desperate Housewives, 15 years ago.
An old-ass show, an old-ass woman that literally is only in like 4 episodes before she goes into a coma, but God bless her. Now, do you think the cuties voted for her as a character or just me saying it?
Maybe it's you saying
I want to believe they voted for her. Mama Solis.
Mama Solis. Yeah, so if you don't know why we're saying that, go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne, because we're only halfway through Desperate Housewives. We're up to episode 10, and we got the rest of the first season to go.
So go dig in. And you know what? We love a cutie that will help us plug ourselves. So thank you, Nadia, for that submission.
The real cutie of the year is self-promotion.
Yes, thank you, cuties, for voting just so we can end this episode with us plugging ourselves. Bless you all. And that is the end of our first ever Cuties Choice Awards. I think it was a success.
I do too. I can't wait till one day we can rent out the Apollo to do it live.
I went to the Apollo for Keke Palmer. It didn't seem that big. I think we could sell it out one day. And I'll rub that rock in the front. Isn't that something?
Sure.
It is, because I had to ask, what's that thing? And people were like, oh, you rub it for good luck. So then we'll do that, and then we'll let whoever our guest is rub my head.
Cute. I'll twerk on the rock.
What if we die? Okay.
Cancel clear. Going into 2025, cancel clear.
Oh, God bless. And that is it. Cuties, you know where we are. YouTube, Patreon, wherever you get your podcasts twice a week. Go follow us everywhere or anywhere. Bless that. And we will talk to you later. Love you like a sister.
Happy New Year.